Man, I'm really excited, really happy for the players. We got a lot of guys in the game that got to play. Some of our young guys, it's fun to see. Cam Dickey, who we've talked about since spring football, Jacoby Williams, we started talking about. I thought Michael was going to score right there whenever I thought he was going to step out of that one. Tyson Turner got a catch in the game. Holton Hendricks and Jacob Ponton got to play the entire fourth quarter. So it was really good to see that. But then it was great to have 28 back. Taj Brooks came out. I mean, you could see that he was on a mission early in the game. He had big runs. He did a great job in pass pro. And when that happens, you got a number two, our quarterback, Baron Morton, that can really settle in and operate the way he did. I thought the first half, we were 3 of 30 for the penalties. So it was a cut down on that from the first 2 weeks. We did have 2 procedure penalties, the first and the third drive coming out of halftime. We had a turnover. But for the most part, especially in the meat of the game to where it was really competitive, I thought we really did a good job of cutting the penalties down. We've got to continue to do that. And then it was good to see the defense step up. We just lost leverage on one play on their first touchdown, but it's good to see them step up. And, man, they created 3 turnovers, and we capitalized on them. And so I thought that was huge. But it's good to have a game like this, get to 2-1, and get ready for Big 12 play. So with that, open up for questions. Oh, man. It was good to see Will Hammond, too. That's another young one, man. He could sling it.
Coach, how confident are you that today's performance is going to carry over to next week?
I think the stuff that we ask our guys to do, I thought they really responded. Again, especially on the defensive side of the ball. They had put up some points the last 2 games. I think the quarterback, Morris, was either second. I think he was second in FBS and passing. So I thought our secondary did a good job. I didn't think Taj was going to be out last week. Whenever we got through playing Abilene Christian, the next morning woke up and his arm was bothering him. And so hopefully we wake up with a team that we finished with and get ready to have a great week. But I'm confident. But I'm confident from the standpoint of we continue to take care of the football on the offensive side of the ball, cut our penalties down, and play good defense. If that happens, then we're going to be a good football team.
Coach, I'm excited to see it on a rewatch, but obviously you mentioned it early on Monday that you wanted to run the ball, set it up to pass the ball, and it seemed like you guys did that. A lot of RPO stuff that really worked, and obviously Taj was rolling early.
Yeah, it was big. I thought there was a couple of plays that really stand out to me. One play was Jordan Brown's pickup, and then, he cut the field, and he really got some momentum going where we kind of stalled. And then another play that was really big, and this has been our frustration on defense is holding our leverage. A.J. McCarty did not make the tackle, but he forced the ball back inside instead of letting them have the sideline, which last week we let them have the sideline twice. And that ended up where they missed the field goal, because Ben Roberts is running like hell to get to the friggin' ball. And because A.J. forced the ball and maintained his leverage, we were able to get them to kick field goal. I thought those were really 2 big plays in the first half to keep the momentum going on our side.
Coach, you talked about the defense, your concerns on Monday. Seemed like today played a lot faster, a lot more energy, physicality. What was the reason for that?
Yeah, I think DeRuiter and his staff did a good job. We've got to continue to identify, like we do a lot on defense, and I think it's good, but you got to identify like what you do really well. And I thought that he called a really good game. I thought he put our guys in good positions, and then one of the biggest things, you go back. I rewatched the Washington State game yesterday before we went to the hotel. I'm a glutton for punishment, and my points to the players were get the football right. Like I went through from whenever it was 0-0 all the way up until we gave up that touchdown, and it was losing leverage. It was we missed a block and then we turned around and watched instead of just going to the next level. It's just get the football right. I thought that the defense did a good job of the football being right today, and I thought the guys played really fast. They were very confident in the game plan, and it was not a scale the game plan back or anything like that. It was things that we have a lot of reps invested in, and I thought they executed well. I felt good last night going to bed. I always meet with C.J. Baskerville and Jacob Rodriguez, Braylon Lux, Ben Roberts, and kind of just ask them how they feel about the game plan. Is there anything that gives them any kind of agita to where they're nervous? And they felt really good about the game plan last night.
Coach, there was a lot of talk the last couple of weeks about the fourth down decision making and just kind of the thought process behind all of that. You only had to go for it once today on fourth down. You're 7 for 14 on third down. What did you feel like the biggest differences were, like in first and second down, that you're putting yourself in better situations to not, or you're making those third downs a lot more manageable?
Well, early it was Taj Brooks, in the offensive line. I thought that we were able to run the football and establish the run. The things that we were coming into the game with were, hey, if it's 2nd and 2 or 2nd and 3, there's a lot of people that take shots on those plays. Belichick's philosophy is get the first down on the 2nd down, and I don't know. I have to go back and watch the game if any of that happened. We were effective on third down. We were really effective on third down last week. Where we weren't effective last week, we were on fourth down, 1 of 5, and 1 of 3 in the critical situations. I thought we had a good handle on what we were going to do. Don't want to go totally into it because we didn't have to go totally into it with the kind of philosophy, but I think we did have a good plan of, hey, we're going to go for it here. We're going to be more aggressive here. We're going to try to get the first down here, just to where we were on the field versus some of the stuff that we had done in the past.
Coach, I saw you talking to the defense after the first UNT touchdown. What did you say to them there? Because obviously, things shifted in a big way after that.
Yeah, that touchdown goes back to what we've been doing in the wrong way. We were bringing pressure from the field. Chapman Lewis was rolling down. He has got to set the edge. He's the edge of the defense. He's the support. And he did. I get what he did. I totally understand what he did. But, he ran through the blocker. The problem was whenever he ran through the blocker, he got held up. Not a holding call or anything. He just got held up, and so he would never leverage the football. So the football got on the edge, and we should have got it down. It shouldn't have been a touchdown. But just talking to him again about there are so many guys. The one thing about our guys on defense, they will run the football. So let's force the football where we want it to go. They're going to gain yardage. They would have gained yardage on that play, but if you look at that, he's 1 and the corner's 2. Everybody else on defense is inside of him. So let's take the ball and make it go inside, and he just kind of got caught up. He ran through the blocker's face because he was hoping to set the edge that away, and the guy was already outside of him. We needed him to, slip that block and go ahead and force it. If he couldn't make the tackle, force the ball back inside.
Coach, how do you feel that after Barron went out, you had Cameron and then Will? Talk about how both of them did what you wanted them and needed them to do.
Yeah, we turned the ball over there, but it's frustrating for Cameron because up to that point we hadn't had a procedure penalty, and then on his first drive, if you don't get the procedure penalty, he gets the first down. So we're continuing the drive, but we came up short, so we had to punt. Then we throw the interception, and then we come back out. And we have a good play called, and we get a procedure penalty. So he was playing behind the sticks the whole time. I thought he did some good things. He plays to his strengths. He ran the ball well. And then I thought Will did a really good job. He was 5 of 7 for 70 yards. Will does a really good job operating the offense. We were coming, going into half. Once we got to where we were at, man, we wanted to get both of those guys in the game and get those guys going. And there's ever a situation where they both kind of have their feet wet in the game. But he was fired up. Will Hammond, man, he's such a neat kid. He just loves football, and he just has such great joy. He's a really cool guy to talk to, man. He's very serious about life. He knows what he wants to do. He's going to be a successful human, but, man, he has such joy out on the football field, and it's fun to watch.
Coach, as much as this defense Defense has taken a hit in these first couple of weeks. I mean, how good had that felt today? You've had 3 straight games now with turnovers. Obviously today, 3 interceptions. It's got to feel good for moving forward. Yeah, it's big, man. You don't think about these things because you always got to go next man up. But we come into this season, and Joseph Adederay's probably played as much football as anybody on our defense, and he was out, so we lose him. And then Harvey Dyson starts the first game, and he's been dealing with a foot issue. We thought we were going to get him back today. I'm really hoping that we get him back next week. So that takes some pressure off because you're out there, and Isaac Smith has played a lot of football, but he hasn't played football in a year. Now he's game 3. He's really starting to pick it up. But his backup's Ansel. I mean, he's a redshirt freshman. He's getting his feet wet. So I think the defense is going to continue to grow. I think it's our responsibility, coaching-wise, to put them in good situations and just continuing to own the things we do well. I do think that we've got a defense that can really create some turnovers.
Coach, Joseph Plunk was one of your captains today. In the program, 5 years, special teams guy doesn't play a whole lot. Could you comment on what's he meant to the program? Yeah, he's part of what we call the Dead Rabbits. We've had 3 Dead Rabbit leaders, Joseph Plunk, Drew Hocutt, and Wes Smith. It's pretty cool. It's not on purpose. I guess it's in the dirt, but all 3 of them are West Texas kids. But I was so proud of him because the other thing with Joseph, he got in there. Joseph is a guy that we are not. I call him Coach Plunk because he's usually, whenever I meet with the guys, he's usually over there with me. If he feels good about the game plan, I feel good about the game plan. But he made some good plays, man. He came up. Even whenever he got in there, we were playing him at Star. He made a tackle. He was very physical. I was really proud of him. He got a little tired and took himself out, and I was like, bro, come on, man. You play one way. You need to get back out there. But he was laughing at me because he was like, Coach, I'm tired. I got to catch my breath. I'm so proud of that kid, man. I'm proud of a lot of those guys like that because they have graduated from college, and they had a choice to go, and he's going to be a great football coach, and start that part of his life and chose to come back, chose to play this final year, chose to make a difference in this team, and, man, he does every single day.
Coach, I'm curious about what you thought about your offensive line as a whole, and I remember Taj picking up a really nice block on the crosser to Josh Kelly. Pass protection seemed like it was relatively good, and run blocking obviously had its moments too.
Yeah, I thought they did a good job. We were hoping to have Sterling. We should have him. He was feeling much better today. We should have him, but I thought Dalton Merriman did some really good things. He's athletic. That unit will continue, I think, to get better and better because, you kind of got now your 5, especially with, Vinny being out for the year. You'll add Sterling back in there and be able to mix some things around. But I thought they did a good job. I think the one thing, a guy that will continue to get better is Sheridan Wilson. He's doing a really good job, but, man, he's got such a huge care factor, and he wants to be sometimes too perfect. I thought he did a good job today of especially, in the first half, whenever it was a really competitive game and early in the game that, he wasn't trying to be perfect. He's making his calls, getting the ball snapped, and we'll keep getting better with that unit.
Joey, so much has been made about the prevalence of your screen game. It seemed like today y'all didn't use it as much. Fair to say y'all maybe attacked in more ways, more areas?
Yeah, that's a really good question because it's been really good, man. So much better. I mean, we did have one, I think, with CD that had a really good play on their sideline. We just had more. We felt that the way they attacked with their odd stack, they were going to give us more of the RPOs if they were really coming down to where we were going to be able to throw it behind them. We had one that we missed that would have been a big play. It was to their sideline. We handed the ball off. We still should have had it blocked up to where it would have been a better play, but we had Coy on a skinny. We could have pulled that ball. That would have been a big play. But they were giving us more RPO stuff. And so, we felt like that was a good way to attack them.
A couple other things if I could. Just Barron Sharp seemed like much sharper today than he was last week.
Yeah, man, I'm telling y'all, you know, and at some point we're going to have to play without him. I hope none this year, but, you know, I think Taj Brooks' presence just makes such a huge difference because you can't come out and say, hey, we're going to take the pass away, we're going to play too high, because we're going to run it down your throat with that guy. And the other thing, you know, throughout the week of talking to Barron, of, you know, like, hey, you know, felt like he pressed last week. It felt like he came out and was like, you know, I have to go win this game. And some of that was us. I mean, you go back and we could have run the ball more, even with the young guys, you know, so I think he was. I think Kitley had a really good game plan for him. I think he felt really good about it, and so he played really well. I mean, like you said, I think he was 15 to 19, 273 yards, 4 touchdowns. We only had 1 sack. It was good stuff.
What did you think? I assume you could hear the crowd when.
Oh yeah, with Micah.
Comes
Yeah,
off, and
I've
then
been
when
through that
Micah goes back
before.
in.
You know, it's funny. I've been through that before. It's always one of those deals. I was fired up for Micah, and I was fired up for that catch. I was kind of laughing. I mean, it's been, I think it was 18 and 19, probably 19, to where we had some of that at the old place at the quarterback position. You know, and I was proud, man. You know, it was funny. I was walking out with Micah, and this is just kind of the person he is. I mean, I know y'all are going to get to because these young guys are such a big part of our team. But, man, we have some really, really good kids on this team. And so I was messing with Micah, and I said, man, I thought that you were going to step out of that and score. And he turns, he goes, me too, Coach, but at least Jacoby got in the end zone and so did Cam. Like, that's his mindset. Like, it's all of their mindsets. They are great teammates. They are great football players. They are going to be great Red Raiders, but they are great teammates, you know, and we'll just keep building on those young guys and getting them in and getting them involved. And man, we've got some weapons. It's exciting. All right. I didn't get to see it all. I hate he did it. It was swag. We needed a little bit of, probably I've seen it before, but I hope McCaslin doesn't come try to get John Carlos Miller after the dunk on the goalpost, you know, because that was pretty impressive. He got up there. Glad he didn't do it again because I had needed him in the game. Thank y'all very much. Chapman Lewis.
That's 2 picks in 2 weeks for you. I guess, how do you feel that you're playing as a, you know, second-year player and finally getting some really, really extensive starting time?
You know, I'm feeling really good about it. You know, it's all about leaning back on preparation throughout the week, and my teammates are also helping me out. You know, everybody being in the right spot and just forcing the QB to make a dangerous throw so I can make a play on it.
Last week we talked about, you know, you guys executing at a higher level and just wanting to play a lot better overall. I guess today you held them 0 for 10 for their first 10 on third down. A lot better situationally. You guys got off the field plenty. I guess, can you sum up today's performance for the defensive unit?
Yeah, I think it was just really again, I was saying it last week, just going back to the basics. Like this week we really honed in on our skills of just eyes and communication, and like that was a lot better this week. And it showed on, you know, at times where they're trying to do things to us. As long as we communicate and be on the same page, then we're going to get the result that we want. So I thought that was the biggest difference from last week. Also was just the want to get to the ball. Like guys were flying around this week. As it was getting better as each week went on, but today was by far the best I'd seen guys flying around the field. And as a whole, like just the celebration, like if one guy made a great tackle, you know, you had somebody running all the way across the field to go celebrate with them. So I think it was whenever you have that much momentum and everybody doing one thing and making plays after another, it's hard to stop our defense.
Speaking of momentum, with the offense having such momentum, putting up those 45 points, what's that feel when you don't have to press as hard when they're not when they're struggling?
When they're not struggling. When they are struggling, this year we both had games where one has kind of had to do more than the other. But whenever they are struggling, like we understand, like we have to sit back and we have to anchor down and we have to help them out as they do to us all the time. We have to do the same thing. And it's just kind of like you have to think of the office. It's kind of like a family thing, like they need help, we're going to help them out. Like whenever we need help, they're going to help us out. And I feel like in these situations, like we always find a way, and we're still finding a way to help each other out and do all we can to put each other back in the game.
I agree. I think you're talking about what we call putting out the fire. So when our offense, has a bad drive, turns the ball over, it's our job as a defense to put out the fire and just make sure they don't score after that. Also speaking on complementary football, if each side of the ball is going to have mistakes, defense is going to give up a touchdown, offense is going to turn the ball over. It's just, playing complementary football, being a team. That's what it's all about.
Do y'all think the momentum from today's defense is going to transfer over to conference games?
Absolutely. I definitely think it will, but also you have to kind of be grounded and understand like your mistakes. And again, as I said last week, like if you understand what you didn't do well and learn from it, and then what you did do well, do it even better. But this is definitely a real feel-good win, going into a league play, because that's a big deal. You want to be on the right side of the win column. But as you would say, momentum, I do believe it's going to carry over because I feel like we kind of did need that swagger back. In fall camp we had a bunch of swagger, and then first game out, you get almost 50 points dropped on you. Doesn't feel good to the heart. So to be able to go out there today and fly around and have fun and win on all phases of the ball, it definitely has some swagger back in our program.
That was kind of my question. What do you think this win did for the locker room? Just the vibe after these first 2 weeks. Difference there after the game.
Yeah, for sure. There definitely is going to be a difference because we understand the pressure that's on us constantly. So. Especially coming into this week, the first week we had it to where the offense did really well, the defense wasn't, there, and even last week I feel like both of us, on both sides weren't that great, but today we put everything together, and that's what we've been needed to do. We have a very talented team. It's just a matter of getting all pieces to go together, and today we felt that, and we all felt that that's exactly what happened. So to be able to see that in the result, what happened, it just meant a lot to us, all the hard work and the pressure we've been under.
Chap, it seems like it's been like a bit of a roller coaster. Just with the way the performances have gone the last couple of weeks. You've had the highs like with the picks and then the low like with the targeting last week. Just talk about just kind of how this experience has been molding you just through these first 3 games.
Right. Every game it's not going to go exactly how you want it. It's all about just keeping your head on straight, leaning on your teammates to help you out. I went out the game last week, but, my job became encouraging my teammates from the sideline. You feel what I'm saying? So I think that's all that matters, just leaning on your teammates to make sure y'all get the job done.
And I know several have asked Coach McGuire just kind of about what the officials maybe told him about the targeting last week. Just what did he tell you after the fact, and just what was the week like just trying to learn from that?
Right. Coach was just talking to me about keeping my head up. Targeting, it can go both ways, with officials and stuff. But just try not to give them a reason to say it's targeting, So it was actually a play in practice this week where QB threw the ball down the middle, and I had a kill shot on my teammate. I let up, but Coach McGuire was just like in the game, just hit him in the midsection. So, yes, sir.
And for both of you, I know like you didn't have Lux week 1, and then you got him back last week. He had the first pick of the day and had the pick 6. Just how big has it been for both of y'all being safeties and just for the defense as a whole to have him back?
Yeah, Lux is a big part of our defense, and he's as much as skillful he is, he's also extremely smart. And he's always in the film room, and he's always talking about things we can do as a back end to go against different concepts. But like that pick was just a result of like how much he's been in the film room. I mean, he was all over that pick six and that on that comeback. But just having him there, he's an older guy. He's the oldest guy in the room. He's very mature, and he knows how to talk to each guy in our room. So as I see it, we have a bunch of leaders in our room. I feel like that's the difference from last year. It was just Rabbit, but you have myself, you have Joseph Plunk, and then you also have Braylon Lux. You have a lot of leaders in the room who give different insights on how to play the game. So I think just after the hardships we've went through, like we've all been able to see different things from different perspectives and insights and be able to get better as a whole. But back to Braylon, it's huge having him back because he's always 2 steps ahead when it comes to calls. Like he kind of already knows what I'm going to call. So I really appreciate having him back.
Chapman, how much time did it feel like you had to react on that tipped pass that comes to you? Is that like tip drill in practice?
Right. When you see the ball go in the air, eyes get big and stuff like that. So just focusing on looking at the ball. And I actually feel like I could have stayed up and scored, but, I got the pick, so.
And Joey talks about this being Take 3 University. I know it seemed like last year y'all had some opportunities, some tip balls that you didn't hold on to. What was that feeling in the moment when you have interception, just like back to back to back?
It's just like, I don't know, it just feels like everything's just going your way, but it's not just everything's going your way. You're just in the right position, and you can only put yourself in the right position. So whenever you have plays like that, and when you have a pick or a pick six, and then you come back and it's just so deflating to the offense. It just feels like a hole you can't get out of if you're on the offensive side. And also for our offense, whenever they're seeing our defense do that, it just amps him up more to want to go out there and make plays and put points up on the board. So it was a pretty big domino effect, but we made the plays we needed to play. We're in the right places when we needed to be in them. So.
All right, thank you guys. We'll bring up Tosh Brooks and Baron Morton next.
The game slows down for you, Baron, when you got Taj next to you. Talk about how last week you were pushing, but this week it was so much easier for you.
Yeah, it was for sure. They run a 3 down front, so we knew we were going to lean on Taj heavy, with him being healthy too. But he's just such a good back to have in the backfield. If I want to check to pass, I know that he's going to pick up that blitzing linebacker. Just to have that security blanket, as we say on offense, Taj is the ultimate security blanket, and he does a great job.
Speaking of security blanket, Taj, you had that one linebacker coming in, and you put on a block. Mm-hmm. No pain, nothing going on. You just
no, sir. It's just like a normal day for me. Especially just that's my really thing, just antsy about. But once I did it, and it felt great. So.
Your rushing touchdown, it was counter read, correct, and seemed like you made the right read and made a play to get in the end zone. Could you just walk me through what you saw and how you scored that one?
Yeah. The last couple drives before that, Coach Kitley was like, hey, they're going to spill off the edge. They're trying to stop Taj. And he was like, be ready to pull one. They don't think you're going to pull one. And, I got the opportunity. They crashed down hard on Taj. It was just a race to the end zone. I know I didn't look that fast, but we got the job done.
Taj, obviously you missed last week, but it seemed like you were rolling as much as even more than you were last year. Like, seemed like you were really fresh, and you averaged 6.4 yards a carry. I guess, how'd you feel today, and what kind of blocking did you think you had up front?
Oh, I felt amazing. And then especially the guys up front, they did a great job just knowing the ID runs, getting to their fits and things like that. It's still some things we need to clean up, but for the most part, I think we did a great job with the fronts and how to get to our fronts and how to get to the ID, the defense, and things like that. So.
We'll go to Ty and then Jared.
For both of y'all, obviously you had a guy in your room that's a true freshman get on the field and play some good reps. I guess, can you talk about how it feels to be a leader in those rooms and then see those guys perform on a Saturday?
Oh, for sure. I'll start from my room. Jacoby Williams and Cam Dickey are going to be special here in a few years, and I can't wait to see when I leave here and they have a legacy here in rushing yards and things like that. Those two are great guys, great backs, know a lot of football, seeing a lot of football, more football than I seen my freshman year, so they kind of know the game. And once it slows down for them, everything else is going to be fine. They have great hands, they have great pass pros, they're very explosive, and I just can't wait to see.
Yeah, for my room too. Will Hammond, I mean, the guy just loves football. He's a guru of football, and he loves it. That's what I think is going to make him a great player. Obviously, the arm talent that he has, but the drive. When he gets out there, he has a fire under his, and he gets it done. And all respect to what he does off the field. And that's just to preach to Coach Kitley to have him prepared and ready for what's going to come. And it's going to be some fun times in the future for sure.
Taj, it seems like whenever y'all get into run sets, there's just so many different ways y'all can get to what y'all are really good at as far as just like personnel groupings and concepts, and y'all are really good at like the counter stuff. Just how exciting is that for you as a ball carrier, knowing y'all just have that variety and being able to get in those good looks?
It's always exciting, especially because they block. It's 11 guys on the field, and I just got to make one miss. So if everybody block their fits, I feel like it's probably going to end up a touchdown or it's going to end up a big play in a run game. So I just love the different looks that we get without the tight ends, and I think the look we had like a diamond formation, and we went 3 for 3 from me, Cam Dickey, and Jacoby all scored touchdowns off that formation. So it's just different things that we do, and we get our fits, we're gonna hit. So I think that's good.
After last week, how important was it for you guys to go out and do what you did today, and what was the mood like afterwards in the locker room?
Yeah, this last week of preparation has been big for us. It's what's going to be different from last year. We're going to bounce back, and the guys stuck together in the locker room this week. We kind of blocked out the noise from the outside crowd. Just said we're going to go out there and play the brand football that we know how to play. And this week has been great. The preparation we took seriously. We knew that we had to come out and make a statement, and we did. We're excited to move forward Big 12 play.
Barron, hey, Coach was, I'm stubborn here, sorry. Coach said that with Taj in there that that's the reason you're so relaxed and all that. Is that really true? And how good was it to have him back, in your words?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, to have 2-8 in the backfield is like the security blanket. But that's hats off to our offensive line. We had Sterling Portrait out this week, which is a big key player. My blind side. Dalton Merriman to come in and just play like that. He hasn't played a lot of college football, and for him to step up, the rest of the O-line too. Sheridan Wilson, that's another guy. He's the center. He's what makes it go, and he hasn't played a lot of football. So, that was a big week for us, just to, have the success that we did, to have Taj back, get some momentum rolling into Big 12.
We'll wrap today's presser with Don.
Baron, to go 15 out of 19 and throw 4 touchdown passes and only play a half, did you miss much of anything today, or was that about as good as you could play, especially considering the variety of throws that you made?
Yeah, no, there's obviously some things to clean up for sure. I got to get us in some better run boxes for Taj. We ran outside zone really well. We ran counter good well. Just some things like that. Seeing RPOs. The little details. In the grand scheme of things, we did well on offense, but it's just the little details from here. Just come in tomorrow and understand where we can up our game.
Also, obviously, people have wanted to see y'all attack the middle and throw deep more. Today seemed like every touchdown pass you threw was either the deep one to Coy and attack the middle with Josh and Jalen and John Carlos. Was it simply just that was what the defense was giving you, or obviously people would like to see more of that
Right.
on more Saturdays?
Yeah, they run a 3 high safety look. We had a lot of play action. Receivers getting open too. They play so low that we knew that we were going to have the middle of the field open with play action. Pulling that free safety in the middle of the field down. We did a great job because they got to stop the run. They got to you got to defend TB. When they bit, the middle of the field was open. And that's not the case sometimes. You're going to see a different defense every week, and from here on out, we're going to see a lot of good defenses. So, I'm just honing on the little details, like I said, and they're going to open up the middle. We're going to rip them up the middle too.
All right. Thank you, fellas.
Thanks, guys.